Hello everybody! So to summarize what we are doing this evening, if we don't have any more stream difficulties, we are working on a wrought iron hammer. This is all for those who are watching this on the replay. So we are working on a wrought iron hammer. We started with a 1-inch round by 3-inch long or 25 mil by 75 mil long piece of wrought iron. And I am prepping a steel face to take and work onto it. I just finished getting the forging done and squaring up this piece here, squaring up that piece of wrought iron to a nice square little hammer there, and now we're heating up the high carbon steel. So hopefully everybody's back in the chat and we're doing okay.
All right, we're still checking on that, so just roll
good.
with it.
Just keep rolling with it?
Yep.
All right, is there anybody there?
I don't know. OBS says that it's streaming, but it's not yet picking up on YouTube.
Okay, so it's not yet picking up on YouTube. Well, let's see how that goes. So we are streaming. We're rolling here with it anyhow. Hopefully to some avail. Be great. We did have some super chat I wanted to acknowledge that came in just before the stream crashed.
Okay, they can't see us. We gotta stop streaming and try again.
Okay, we're gonna try it again.
Nope, not yet. Alright.
Can everybody see me now?
Where's Waldo?
We are live. Hopefully everybody can find me.
Alright. Does not look like YouTube's picking us up. I think I'm gonna need to refresh the page here, so. Alright, welcome back to the shop.
Alright. Do we have it going now, Jess?
Alright, it's loading. Okay, it looks like we're good. Stream resumed.
Alright, stream resumed. Anybody still there watching the stream?
Alright, yep, we got some, we are good. It's fixed. Thank you guys for the feedback.
Yep, thank you everybody for sticking around, who's been sticking around. That's awesome.
Yes, so just a little update for everybody joining us. We have not yet, I thought we might have fixed the problem. Apparently we have not yet. That's been causing our computer to crash. So I'm not sure how long we'll be able to get out of this, but we're going to give it a go.
Yep, we're going to give it a go this time. If it does crash again, we'll just have to cancel it off until we can catch up with you next Monday. Try again, and we'll try to get it fixed over this weekend. So we got my son's birthday this weekend, so we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we can get it fixed. But basically, real quick, I got that finished squared up. You didn't miss anything. I just kind of planished it a little bit better, but it's pretty much done, fixed. Also, somebody gave us a $20 super chat before the stream quit out.
Yeah, you guys will have to remind me who that was.
I just wanted to say thank you. Make sure you give them a hand clap in the comment section for that $20 super chat. We do appreciate those. They go to help us constantly increase and better our streams. Not that you would know it with this stream, the way it's been working out for us here. So we greatly appreciate that. All right, let's go over the anvil, Jess.
All right.
Oh, what I'm working on now is the face of the hammer, the 1095 actual face, and I need to square this up. So this has been cut off. I need to turn this into the same rectangle if I can. It's okay to do a little drop forging. Now this isn't going to work as soft as that wrought iron does. It being 1095, you're going to have to wail on it quite a bit to get it to move and do what you want it to. I'm going to switch it into a different pair of tongs now that we got that in set, upset just a little bit. Good. Okay, heat it up again.
All right. By the way, the super chat, the donator was Average American. So yes, thank you.
Average American, thank you, and thank you whoever put that in the comment feed.
A couple of people, Graham.
All those, thank you. And thank you for hanging out with us even with our technical difficulties.
Yes. So to recap, Roy is using actual wrought iron,
Yep.
salvaged from a 1906 bridge,
Yep.
and he picked that up at Quad State.
Yep.
And he had talked a little bit in our first bit of streaming about how there is a grain structure in it. It's actually kind of stringy and versus
Like wood.
yeah.
Yep, like wood.
Versus standard just steel nowadays that's what is that, homogenized, where all the individual grains
Yep.
are just kind of more like specks of salt versus like strands. So
Listen at my wife get all technical.
yeah, real technical, right?
Acts like she listens to me or something.
I try to. Somebody had asked earlier if you're going to etch it to show the grains.
Probably not. I may. Just depends on how cool it comes out. It will already kind of have, if you will, it'll already kind of have a texture or a hint of that wrought texture when it's fully finished and done. But I may just do that just for interest, just for visual interest. Yeah.
Alright, good. I'm glad you guys are finding us. Everybody's like, I'm back.
Good. Glad you're all back. Thank
Good.
you. Thank you for being on the stream. So.
Yes, for anybody who, just so you know, the shortcut to like our live stream, you can jump to it in even just a few minutes before it starts if you go to youtube.com/Christ Centered Ironworks /live, and that will bring you, as long as we have that page set to public, even if we're not streaming yet, it will bring you to the page where it shows the chat, and then it also shows our thumbnail for the live stream.
Okay, so before I get to forging on this, let me have the paper. We've got some acknowledgments I want to take and get out the door here. All right. So the last 30 days of Super Chats, and I wanted to thank everybody. As of 5/18/2018 is Graham Pepper. Thank you, Graham. Ben Culp. Angelique Adams. That's my mom. Techronmatic. Energy Management. Josh Wright, Carol Johnson, North County Forge, 35mm Showdown, Landon, Coffee's Forge, Jason Hill, Big Dog Forge, Billy Strong, Brent Legg, Jeff Sandling, Peter Tricker, Basin Ironworks or Derek Smead, and Arnseen Development. So thank you all very much. Thank you. Everybody give them a hand clap in the comment section. Heck, that might just be most of you. And let's go to the anvil while we can.
Alright.
I'm trying to rush now. Never know when the stream might cut out.
No, gotta make the most of it.
Tim from Big Dog Forge?
Yep, that's right.
Good to have you in the house, sir. Okay, so you still here on the anvil?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so basically, you want to weld the snot out of this, the 1095, and basically what we're working for here, if I can get the other piece, we are trying to reduce this cross section to meet up with that cross section. And that'll be our welded face. Then we'll cut off just about a ½ inch, or just a little more than that, about 5/8 of an inch, or what I believe is 16 mil. We will take and cut that off at about that juncture. And then it'll get put and welded straight onto there, butt welded. Got a little more shaping to do though. All right. Oh, by the way, when you're working like this and by hand, it's okay to get winded.
It'll happen.
It's okay to breathe while you do this. So if you sound like you're breathing like a freight train, it means you're actually doing something in life. So be proud.
Billy Strong says, I had to close YouTube out completely to get back to the live stream. Yeah. Yeah, so if anybody else is having trouble still having the video or audio coming in, that would be the thing to do.
Oi, oi, oi. We'll get the hang of it someday.
Yeah,
So
if it's not one thing, it's another, huh?
yeah, yeah. So just real quick recap for anybody who's joining us or just joining us and wasn't around for all the other malarkey. We are making a wrought iron hammer tonight. We are making a Scandinavian style crossbeam. Like this. Let's go to the anvil. I'll show it a little closer. There you go. So we are making, hopefully everybody can see that, a Scandinavian style crossbeam hammer. These are just an absolutely beautiful little hammer, and I really like the shape and form of these. So that's what we're making this evening. We're attempting to. We're getting through the first steps in the process anyhow. Oh, back to the main camera, guys?
Yes, we are.
Good. All right, questions?
Sure. Coffee
Comments?
Storage. He says, got my D-plate and rollers today from Oregon Blade Makers. Quick service, just ordered Wednesday.
Yep, that's where I got my stuff for my grinder, is Oregon Blade Maker. Really great service. I was impressed. And after about 2 years of use, it's still holding up. And I bought the cheap set.
Just looking back to see if I missed anybody's questions. I know there's a lot of questions just before the stream crashed, and since we didn't get a chance to answer those, feel free to drop them back in again.
Yep. Just have to ask them again until you get your questions answered.
Yeah.
Or drop us a super chat to get promoted to the top of the list.
Average American says, liked again, smash that button. Yeah, unfortunately, when our streams get cut off, they cut it, it starts on a whole new stream. So, I mean, yeah, that does give you the chance to like it again.
Yeah,
So
see?
go for it.
Some people wish they can do that.
Yeah.
So that's working good.
Like the one evening for one person, huh?
Can't beat that. Okay, so, who was it, Jessica, last live stream that donated the $100 super chat?
That was Energy Management. Darren, you probably still have it. You still have it.
All right,
Right
Energy
here.
Management, or Darren. I wanted to take and say thank you for the $100 super chat. The last, not two live streams back when we were forging the dinner bell. And I just want to let you know that if you get with me with your address, you can contact me through christcenterforge@gmail.com or at my website and just do the contact thing. Get with me and I will be sending you that dinner bell free of charge. So as my thank you to you for supporting the channel. All right. Let's go over the anvil.
All right.
I gotta work this a little bit more down to size. Good? Good?
Yep, go ahead.
So I have to shoulder the material down a little bit here so I can get it nice and square. I can work the face here a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense. So this way I can get the cross section more squared up. Alright, check it to my wrought iron. Ooh, we are really close. Good, good, good. Get a little squaring done on it, and we'll be getting there.
All right, we have a good question from Anthony Chase. He says, what is the advantage of wrought iron for a hammer body?
I don't believe that there's any advantage per se, other than the saying that you do have it. Basically, from my experience, what I can tell you is that it has more of a dead-like blow to it. It's kind of... So even though I swing a 1 3/4 pound hammer, this hits just about as hard as my 3-pounder. I don't know why it does. I don't know if it's denser somehow, or if it's got a different density maybe than, you know, a 1045 steel or a 1095 steel, if it has a different density to it. But that's about the only intelligible difference I could give you, or advantage. Other than that, there's not really an advantage, and in fact, it's more work in the long run. So, other than to say that you have it, one of the advantages I could say is it's easy to carve on if you want to add chased-in decoration on the side.
Mm-hmm. Is it, historically, didn't they also do that because tool steel was in short supply, and whereas wrought iron was more abundant or
Yep.
less costly?
Yep. That was a historical way of doing it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think historically you might find a lot of hammers, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, you'll probably find a lot of hammers that didn't have any high carbon steel at all in them. They were just wrought iron hammers, straight up, shaped like what they needed, and that's what they had. So I had no hardenability to it whatsoever, and they just worked their material hot.
Big Dog Forge asks, since wrought iron is self-fluxing, when you forge carbon steel on the faces, do you need flux for those welds?
Technically you don't. I have seen, and I've always fluxed on my welds here. Mainly just as a preventative, because the flux is boric acid, so therefore it does eat the surface scale away. It eats the surface scale away. Woo!
There you go.
That was hard to get out there. Say that 10 times fast. So, not necessarily from the wrought iron it doesn't really do a whole lot, but from the high carbon tool steel, it probably does do a little bit in the way of aiding them to stick. I used flux with this, and like I said, 6 years later it's still together, so I can't really say if there's a plus or a minus to it. I've just done what seems to work and has been repeatable, which I've always fluxed it. So, alright, go over the anvil real quick.
Alright.
Any questions?
Let me see here. No, not yet.
Alright, go to the anvil. That face needed to be squared up quite a bit from where an old cut mark was. So that's what I was doing there. We're still working on my piece of 1095. I'm trying to get the face to the rough size that it needs to be. Questions or comments while I'm working?
Yes. Michael Martin says, what steel would you most highly recommend for the face of a wrought iron hammer or stump anvil?
1045. I'll give you my explanation for that here in just a second. Beautiful. We got one corner that's misbehaving, gotta knock it back, but we're getting there. We're real close. Reason why I say 1045 is 1045 welding temperature is very similar to wrought iron's welding temperature. So welding temperature is not just a narrow band. Welding temperature is actually a very broad band on wrought iron and most simple carbon steels. It's not as sheer and like short as people imagine it. When you look at a chart for wrought iron, not wrought iron, but high carbon tool steel, about where its welding temperature is, or most steel's welding temperature, if you ever actually look at a chart, it's a flow. It flows, right? And so there's a flow chart to it of where it's at its optimum welding temperature versus where it's at a low end of the welding temperature. So there's a whole range in between. Well, wrought iron has a very high welding temperature, and that's its baseline, where it starts. And where it starts at on a 1095, like what I've got here, it's at the very, how do I say, the wrought iron is just at its base welding temperature. By the time the high carbon steel is 1095, is towards the top end of its welding temperature range before you're about to melt it. And so since those two temperature ranges are further apart from each other, it's harder to get that weld to go. The closer your material that you're adding on is to temperature of welding is closer to the parent bar material's temperature, the easier it will be to weld that material. So that means you don't have to take one super high and bring the other one up super low. They marry together very nicely. So 1045 works absolutely excellent with wrought iron hammers. 1095, as you'll see here in a bit, I'll have to bring the wrought iron up to, like I said, its lower end of its welding temperature, as where it could go all the way up to where it's white or incandescent with a few sparks on the end of it, hot. If I were to put 1095 on the front of that, I would burn it up for sure. It would over-oxygenize. It would just drip into the bottom of the fire pot here. So it will melt completely before the wrought iron is fully up to temp. Hopefully that makes sense. And it is hot here today, by the way. High humidity. And standing right by the forge, it's quite spicy.
You probably have the fan on. It probably wouldn't be too
Nah, it's
noisy.
alright. I want them to hear me clearly. Go ahead.
Sleepless in NY says very interesting. AH asked your preference of using charcoal versus coal.
I take coal every day of the week. That is my preference. Charcoal is great. It puts off a different kind of fire. Some would say a cleaner fire, but that's not really so. It's more ash. There's more ash in charcoal than there is in coal. But depending on what coal you get. But when it comes to working in it, I've worked in both. In charcoal, you are going to work a lot with charcoal. You have got to throw a lot of it on to keep a good sized fire going for things like this. As where coal, you can pack a really nice tight fire and get it good and hot, and it stays that way for a long time. So efficiency wise and everything else wise, I'd go with coal.
Michael Martin says, thank you very much for answering my questions. That really helps. Your wealth of knowledge is always wonderful.
You're very welcome.
Archie Bunch says, hi, everybody from across the pond in Scotland.
Awesome. Hello, hello from Ohio. All right, let's go to the animal, and you can keep feeding me some comments, okay?
All right. Dustin Dixon says, I just got 4 industrial pens about 1 1/4 inch thick. I'm thinking about making a few knives out of them. Should I use vermiculite to soften the steel up?
You can use vermiculite if you want to really go for a full-on annealing, or you can just put them in the ashes of your coal forge. And it'll take several hours to do that. It'll take several hours for it to cool down, and it's about the same as doing a vermiculite. Not as much, but somewhat. All right. Keep feeding. Questions?
All right. Graham Pepper, he gave us a $2 super chat, and he said, that means that you are the Wrought and Jessica's the 1045.
That she is. Okay, so we've got these pretty much perfect. To the right shape, size, all that good stuff for our butt weld there. So there's one other thing that we need to do to this before we cut it off the bar stock here. The last thing we need to do before we cut it off the bar stock here is I'm going to cut some barbs in it. And those barbs are going to help it stick into the wrought iron so I can stick it in the forge. Otherwise, I'd have to find this little small piece, bring it up to a welding heat, bring it out, set it on the anvil, and before it cooled down too much, put my other wrought iron hammer on there, get them lined up, and hammer them together. So that's really tricky when you're working with this small of material. On a big hammer like this, you can get away with it because it's a big chunk of steel. It doesn't lose welding heat so quickly. But on a small hammer like this, it's best if they're stuck together in some way. So we'll cut the barbs on it, and we will cut the barbs using a little slitting chisel.
Rock Mike says, any tips on how to get railroad spikes out of my hardwood stump? I'm switching out for a better stump.
Burn them? Burn them out?
That's what somebody else said. County Line Forge said burn the stump.
Yeah, just burn the stump maybe. I don't know, you could probably get something like a big crowbar. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Another way you could do is just split up the stump with a splitting maul, or I mean with a wedge, a splitting wedge and a sledgehammer, and just crack it apart and get them out that way. Unless you're trying to save the thing, in which case you're going to have to use a crowbar.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it. Corey Shire, he said he liked it twice from using his main YouTube account and then his old one too.
Haha! Thank you for cheating the system, Corey Shire.
Let's see, Rock Mike, he said, I do want to keep the stump. It's a nice one. He said, I was thinking of wrapping a chain around the spike head, pick it up with a tractor bucket, and whack it with a sledge.
That'll probably work. If you can get it tied around the spike head, it would work, I would think. Another thing you could do is soak that area of the stump with some oil. And then let that sink in and let that really soak into them fibers, since it doesn't give up the oil so easily, and it might lubricate the surface enough that it breaks that surface tension and allow you to pull the spikes a little easier. All right. What's up?
Let's see.
Any more questions?
Anthony Chase, so you haven't welded the faces on yet?
Nope, I'm prepping the face now for welding. So if we can, next Friday, I'm going to continue this series. So my goal is to get the face welded on tonight if I can. I don't know how we're doing with time, considering we lost the stream and then we picked it back up again.
Yeah.
So if the stream doesn't cut out again, here's knocking on wood. Everybody knock on wood next to you if you can. And if we can do it, I want to get the main face welded on and blend it in. If I can do that this stream, then next stream we will actually forge it a little bit and then weld in the bit for the peen and hopefully get it punched in the next stream. So I have to take a break for a little bit from the little vise because I ran out of time on it. I've got a lot of customer orders I got to get out the door here real soon, and I got a super busy week. Some big changes may be coming here to Christ Centered Ironworks. We'll have to see. God's moving in some really interesting ways. We'll have to see how things go. And so I have an insanely busy upcoming week. So it's nice and easy for me to forge weld hammer faces on wrought iron versus complete the technical work that it takes to take and do the vise. That even makes sense. That just sounds cocky, doesn't it?
It's an interesting way of comparing the two, but hey, yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is, as Jessica says. I'm going to get a shirt made up if anybody's interested. Jessica saying, "It is what it is," and her face being right on the shirt. What do you think?
I don't think I
would anybody wear it? I'd wear it with pride.
my face on a shirt.
All right, Jessica, let's go to the anvil.
All right.
I'll make sure I'm in shot here. And I'm going to try to, before I come out, let me try to zoom you all in just a little bit. Hopefully we're still in shot.
Yeah, you look
Is
good.
that all in focus? Look good?
Yep.
About in right here?
Yep.
Here's in focus?
Still doing good.
Okay, good. All right. So we're going to pull this out. We'll set it on one of those two edges. Hold it between our legs here. And we want to take and start from the side at a nice 45-degree angle and work towards the front. You're kind of doing a swooping action with the chisel. There we go. And hopefully you guys, I'll be able to show you this here in a second. I'll need to take and do that on the other side. And take it the opposite way. Boom, boom, boom.
How many of those do you have to do?
Ideally, you want to do about all four sides if you can.
Okay, just one per side.
Yep. One per side is good enough. You don't have to do these. Like I said, they do help, however. And if you could do this in the vise, this is much better, but since this is a live stream and Jessica's sitting by the vise, we're going to do it.
You're stuck with the anvil.
Yep, I'm going to do it the hard way. Okay, I hope everybody can see that there.
Scoot it back just a buzz so it'll be in focus. There you go.
Can everybody see that fine?
Yeah, that looks good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll have to refine those a little bit. I'll have to take another heat on them and stand them up a little sharper. You don't want them laying down. You want them to kind of prong out if you can so they'll stick into the wrought iron.
Gotcha.
By the way, this is a very historical approach to doing this. If you ever get a chance to take a class with Tom Latney, ask him about it. There's a lot of historical examples where little prongs have been picked up on things like vice jaws, and you name it, a whole host of things. So pretty common. What's up?
Oh, Big Dog Forge, he says, gotta go to the docks. See you next time. Take care.
See you next time, Big Dog. Thank you for being here, buddy.
And we have at least 3 votes for the shirt.
All right, good. Oh. So for anybody who doesn't know, Tim over at Big Dog Forge, he has a really great channel to go check out. He does a lot of Damascus and things like that. I do believe a lot of the people on the stream tonight are already subscribers.
Yeah.
If you are not a subscriber of Tim's channel, you're missing out. He is a highly recommended channel from me. So.
And he does, I believe he said he's doing his live stream on Sunday morning.
Okay, awesome. Good. So make sure to check out his live stream on Sunday morning. They're always a hoot. Just kind of catch up with Tim and chat. Like I said, he's a really neat dude. Definitely worth the watch. All right.
So we're hanging in there so far. We're about 31 minutes in on this particular stream.
Okay, good.
Looks like we have 56 watching.
Thank you all for being here, all 56 of you. Greatly appreciate you. All right, what else, son? What we got?
All right. Let's see. Oh, he said, Rock Mike said, oh, oil is a good idea, Roy. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Let's see. Pastor Josh Smith said, my bride says she would certainly wear the shirt.
Awesome.
Anthony Chase said, I'd wear it, my wife, and I say that too.
Hello, hello.
Corey Shire, yes, I want that shirt. Great. My face
See?
is going to be on a shirt now.
Your
Thanks,
face is
Roy.
going to be on a shirt, and it's going to be global. It's going to be a bestseller.
At least in 3 or 4 places.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's go back over the anvil, honey, real quick.
All right.
We'll finish standing these prongs up. Just with some light taps, really. If you don't get them stand up all the way, they don't really do anything. So you'll be horribly depressed that you took the time to do this and for them not to do anything. Alright, I think that's good enough. Okay. I think that's good enough. Hopefully everybody can see that fine.
Yeah, that shows. You can see the barbs.
Okay, good. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark this off about all 4 sides for about the size I want this to be. And try to get it as straight across as you can. The ideal here is we're going to want to cut to center. So I'm going to get this here. Hopefully you can still see this in shot. I'm not too horribly off.
You're alright.
There we are. That got it squared up. We'll have to heat this up one more time and continue to cut it. Basically, we've got our cut line across here. Hopefully y'all can see that.
Oh yeah, it shows nice and clear.
So now we're going to flip it and we're going to do all sides like that. That'll give us less cleanup work, and then we'll be able to move on to getting that wrought iron hot and be able to tap it onto here. We'll be real close to welding it up then.
Let's see here. Sleepless in New York says historical smithing is my main interest. From stone to bone to iron is a huge evolutionary step.
It is a huge step indeed.
Corey Shire says, Roy, I have subbed about half of the regular cast of characters in here because of you.
Well, good. Well, I don't know. Is that good or bad? Good or bad? Alright. Well, son, gotta keep following comments.
Yep. Just trying to keep an eye on everything and see if I can spot the problem before it happens. But so far we haven't gotten any red flags, so.
Good, good.
John Lavender says, Rowan Taylor from England has a video showing how to make those spikes on wrought iron while also making a hammer. Plus 200 on Jess on a shirt.
Awesome.
So I got a question for you guys. And my question is, have you forged anything from wrought iron? And if so, what is it? And I'd like to hear some of your projects that you've used it for, if you've done it before.
Yeah.
Benjamin Griffin says, hi from Florida.
Hello, hello. I'm going to step over here real quick, make sure my camera's in shot. I got to make 100% sure here. Give me a second. I want to make sure I'm as good as I can be.
Poppy's Forge says, is sofa done till fall? They still have their monthly meetings. And I think you have to check on their website. I think they try to keep that updated. Sofablacksmiths.org.